Oh, we've already been over that. She's out checking where the ravagers are and checking if they pose a threat to the tribe. This is her responsibility. And my responsibility as Shaman is to provide guidance and insight to the chief. And so I am doing precisely that right now. A good question. Definitely a good question. I had removed myself from the village because I did not like being around Garg, but, well, very fortunately, our new chief has taken care of that. On a bit of a technicality, perhaps, but he is gone, and I don't think anyone here is going to disapprove of your results. Well, leadership of the tribe does not pass down through family history the same way ruling a kingdom does in the human world. It's a lot more open to challenge, and because you did receive your title on a technicality, there is a very good chance that someone may try to take it from you and take the title of chieftain for themselves. Oh, no, he is not welcome back. No, I spoke with the other members of the council, and we are all in agreement that we're better off without him. The issue at hand, for you personally, is whether or not anyone else in the tribe decides they want to challenge your claim to leadership. Because orcs are ruled by those who are most fit to rule, not by those who inherit the title. Well, there are pros and cons to everything, aren't there? The benefit of having a leadership that's primarily focused on only the best being in charge is that it encourages our leaders to be at their best at every moment. And of course, that has many benefits, but on the other side of things, it also creates a system where leadership can change hands very quickly, and adapting to different leadership styles over and over can ultimately weaken the tribe to outside threats. Well, currently our only outside threat is the encroaching ravagers, and seeing as you now have first-hand experience defeating one, I think that's a challenge that our tribe is very well suited to handle. Of course, you don't know what you did. Let me see if I can put this in terms you will understand. You came to this tribe under very unusual circumstances, and you became the leader of this tribe under very unusual circumstances. There is something about you. You have... I don't have a word for it, so it's difficult to put it into terms you would understand. Something within you is destined to change things. For the better, I believe. I genuinely think you mean well. But, well, if you doubt me, let's look over your history since you've been here, shall we? You fell into the trap of my sister, and one of so many traps out there. It is very likely hers is the only one that would have led to you being brought back to the village alive. And then you convinced her to help you become a full member of the tribe, which again is very unusual. Not unheard of, but it does happen, just not often. And then I met you. And I could tell from the moment I met you there was something about you. I can still see it, you know. I may not mention it every time, but I see it within you, within your eyes, within your soul. You are different from the others. And so, when you say you don't know how you defeated that ravager, and you don't remember it, what I hear is destiny is taking you on the path it has planned for you, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you choose it or not, it is happening. And so, as your shaman, it would be my responsibility to give you all the perspective I can and help you make decisions, ideally for the benefit of our entire tribe. No, you are a member, not just a member, you are the leader. This is perhaps even more your tribe than it is mine now. We can touch back on that subject another time. I think, more importantly, we had better look at the future. Well, he may not be here anymore, but something tells me we have not heard the last of Gark, and it would be wise to assume he is going to show himself once more, and prepare ourselves. And she's exactly right. There's no way Gark, by himself, was able to hunt down, capture, and bring that giant ravager back to this village. It simply could not happen. He must have had help. And if he had help then, exactly, he likely still has help now. So we've got to figure out who it is we can trust and who it is we need to keep at arm's length. Well, I might have a few brews I could make to help us identify them. We could have a big feast in celebration of your... Is that what we'll call it? Ascension. I'm not sure that's the right word. Your victory, perhaps? We can figure out the exact phrasing another time. But if we have a big celebration in your honor, I could prepare quite a few ingredients beforehand and maybe put a little bit into the water, and put a little bit into the ale, and... You're no fun. Fine, we won't poison the entire tribe, even though it wouldn't be poison. The choice is up to you, of course. Fine. Then, as an alternative option, allow me to commune with the ancestors in full view during the ceremony and ask them. You know, it is lesser known history because, well, it's frankly not a very common story among orc tribes. But there is a story of one chieftain, the first chieftain, before the tribes all split into their own different groups. Humans had the key to being the dominant force on this planet. And if we can set aside our differences as different species just for a moment, whatever I may have to think of human society and all of their developments, he was right on one thing. Humans have dominated this world. There must be a reason for that. Well, I mean, look at me. I'm no warrior. I'm no hunter. And yet even I, a shaman, am both bigger and stronger than you. I am bigger and stronger than most humans. if it was a contest of pure strength, humans would not be the dominant force on this earth. So, clearly, there must be more to it than that. And what do you think that is? It's not magical aptitude. Elves and gnomes are better with that. It's not smithing weaponry and armor. Dwarves, they handle that. So what is it? What is it about humans that is so unique that they became the strongest species? Interesting answer. I believe you are right. Orcs, we disagree with each other very loudly, very directly. Humans, they do not. They set aside their differences, they work together, and they develop incredibly complex, interconnected systems. And all of these together help them take their place at the top of the food chain, as it were. Well, no, of course. I don't imagine humans go around eating orcs and goblins all day long. Think of it less as literal food and more the dominant cultural powerhouse of everything. Humans may not have developed far out here into the woods. These woods, but everywhere else, humans set foot, they conquer. This, at least, is something orcs can appreciate. Even those who may not necessarily like the idea of a human in charge. So I am thinking that in order to get the full support of the tribe, all we have to do is convince them that we can learn from the benefits and the strengths that humanity has to offer, but also combine that with the tenacity and strength that orcs have to offer. Well, there is one member of the council who will become a bit of a problem. Out of everyone on the council, only one person actually looked forward to Garg's tenure as leader. I imagine this will be your first challenge to overcome. Well, if you don't prove yourself, you will lose your title. And you would still be a member of the tribe, of course. And I imagine my sister would still very much like to spend time with you, as would I. But without the title, you would not have the protection you do. Did you not notice? You're not in my sister's tent anymore. Did you not look around? Ah, I see. Well, it does make sense if you really were not aware of how you did it. If you really were not aware, not in control of yourself when you defeated that ravager and saved Garg's life, it does make sense. It would take some time for you to fully come back to your senses. I don't know exactly. It's something I will have to get back to you on. I do know that a lot of these stories we have talk about destiny and the gods choosing their champions and forcing them into positions of power that they may not have put themselves into. Not because they weren't suited for them, but because they themselves did not believe they were suited for them. You never envisioned yourself being leader of a tribe of orcs out here in the northern woodlands, did you? But here you are anyway. Fate, destiny, coincidence. Really, whatever word you want to use to describe what brought you here, the end result is you find yourself in a very privileged position. One that, as far as I know, no human has ever found themselves in. Well, it's very true. You do have the final say on most things. But I would caution you, if you overstep, there will be direct challenges to your rule. And personally, I think I really like you being in charge. I would hate to see someone try and strip that away from you. Well, that would be my role. And honestly, that kind of proves my point, doesn't it? You happened into this tribe at a very convenient time. Found very conveniently by likely the only orc who would have brought you back to her place, in one piece at least, and then brought to meet me. You know, most orc tribes, their shamans are very difficult to get an audience with, especially if you're not orc. But you were found by my sister, and of course I'm going to talk to my sister. Lucky you. And then we arrived just in time to get plenty of rest before the ceremony. Lucky you. And then the hand of fate intervened once more and literally forced your hand. And now you sit in a position that so many young orcs envy. And it just fell to you. Whether you believe me or not, there are greater forces at play than you realize. She was right. Humans have lost touch with so much of the natural world. And humans, their gods, have come up with explanations and justifications for why they've lost touch with it. Do you know what I think? I think a force older and stronger than orcs or humans has a plan for you. A plan for all of us. And that plan, for whatever reason, requires you to be here as our chief. Maybe you will lead us to destroy the threat of the ravagers once and for all. Maybe it's because there will soon be an incursion of a new threat. I don't really know, and I will do my best as your shaman to read the waves of the ether around us and see what I can determine. Of course, you are boss. If you say, it will be. Then I will begin preparations immediately, although I do have a question for you first. If you had to pick between me or my sister, it'd be me, right? Oh, you can tell me. Come on, I won't rub her face in it too much. Oh, fine. Then I will leave you to it. And I will begin my preparations. And I will get ready for my communion. If it's all right with you, I would very much like to do it here. My sister's tent is a little small, and mine is quite a long walk away. It be so much easier to just stay here with you while I do it. Hey Comets! Star here, and thank you for listening to this video, audio, vadio thing. I like that. It's fun to say that. So, in Season 1, I very briefly kind of touched on this idea that there was something inside of the listener's eyes that made them different, and it was the reason why the Shaman sister was interested in seeing how everything played out in the first place. And I did not really develop on that storyline during Season 1 because we were a little preoccupied trying to get rid of a very significant thorn in our side. But, well, Gark is gone. So now we have time and energy to focus on other things, and so the focus of this season? I almost said season. The focus of this season is very much going to be learning how to be a ruler of a tribe of people from an entirely different culture, but also learning how to accept and use whatever that hidden ability is that the listener has, which, of course, hi, I'm author writing the story. I know what it is. You guys are gonna have to wait and find out. I do think it's gonna be a fun one. I won't go into a lot of details, but it definitely opens up the story to go in a million different directions, and that's exciting. So, we're gonna see how this plays out. Thank you all so very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.